Hey guys, welcome back to Boss Babes. I'm really excited to share this information with you guys of how to budget and pay off your credit card debt. So if that's something that you are interested in, then keep on watching. So first of all, the main thing that you're gonna do, because I don't want to just ramble, I can sit here and talk to you about how I did and how I racked up my credit card and how I was with, in a relationship and we owned a business and, I was charging all my credit cards to be able to buy supplies, and I just became very irresponsible with my credit cards, And what ended up happening is, you guys, I got all the way up to $37,000 in credit card debt. And the worst part about that is knowing the fact that not only do you have your everyday life expenses, like food, electricity bill, and gas and all that, but then you have your rent or your mortgage, and then every day that you check your mail, except for Sundays, right? It's like a bill after bill after bill. And I remember just having stacks and stacks of paper on the table, and I would just like to it till tomorrow. And I would keep on saying that, and then I remember like a creditor would call me, they're like, oh, we're calling to collect your payment. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, I thought I sent the payment. So I ended up paying late charge fees that were no reason of me having to pay that, but I was late, so obviously I had to pay it. I had 0% interest on like 2 of my credit cards, and because I forgot to send the payment, it went from like 0% all the way to 21%. And I know I'm not the only one that this has happened to, and that's why I wanted to share this. I really wanted to go into detail, and what I'm actually gonna do is in this video, so make sure that you stay watching the video, I'm gonna actually write it out. I'm gonna show you exactly how I was able to create a formula that helped me. One thing I do want to let you guys know before I get started and give you guys this advice is I am not a professional debt consolidated person or any of that. I just want to let you know I went through some really rough times in my life. My credit went from 780 something all the way down to 546. No one wanted to finance me. It was really hard to apply for anything. And just to let you guys know, in this whole series of Boss Babes, or from wherever point in your life that you're at, you need credit here, to get an apartment, to go even get a cell phone today. They want to run your credit, to get a credit card, even if it's at Sears or Nordstrom's or, Macy's, wherever it may be, Best Buy, you have to have somewhat of good credit. So if you have a couple of dings or dents on your credit, don't worry, you guys, I did too. And I can honestly tell you today, I've been able to now go and apply for credit cards, and they have approved me. So I want to let you guys know the do's and the don'ts. I wish I would have known that I didn't know before, because you want to write down these things. If not, you can always save this video to your favorites and watch it at a later time. And I hope I'm not talking too fast, because I tend to talk a little too fast. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get all of your bills. And when I mean all of your bills, who do you owe money to? And I'm not going to talk about your everyday bills like your mortgage and all that, or your rent, or whatever, electricity and all that. I'm talking about the actual people, like creditors that you owe. The first thing that you're gonna want to do is you want to write out, who do I owe money to, okay? So maybe you don't have everything in front of you right now. Maybe you've already paid a bill, because I know it's kind of, the beginning of the month or whatnot. And the first thing that you're gonna want to do is you're going to want to write down, who do you owe money to? So list them all in, just list them as they come to your mind. You're gonna just list them down, okay? The second thing that you're gonna do is now you're gonna call each and every single credit card company, and you're gonna ask for what is your actual balance and what is the interest rate that you're paying. Okay, so that's going to be step number 2. Contact every single creditor. Now, it may take you 30 minutes, it may take you even 10 minutes, depending on how many accounts that you have. You want to call and find out what exactly is your payoff amount, how much you owe, and what interest rate are you paying. Okay, so you're going to call every single one of those creditors. You're going to write down that information, and we're going to start getting organized. All right, so once you're done contacting all those creditors, you don't have to do it right now, but you can actually go back and do all this, right? But I do recommend you to get it done ASAP, because we are going into 2018, and you really want to kind of start your new year off with goals. And how could you have 2018 be better than 2017, right? After you contact all of them, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and get a sheet of paper. You're going to get either a sheet of paper or a notebook, whatever you may have. I use this budgeting thing. You don't have to really focus on this. Any notebook will work. I picked this up at Marshall's about a year ago, and I want to let you guys know what I did. I wrote every single credit card company in order, as number 1 being the one that I owed the most amount of money to. Okay, the second one, the third, and it went down. Then next to their name, I put what was the balance. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert a video here. I have to record it after this part just to let you guys know the fun things about trying to put up a video. And you're gonna put the balance that you owe, and then you're gonna put the interest rate that they're actually charging you, okay? Now, when you're calling your creditors, okay, and if you know that it's not like a 0% interest, you can ask them. This is a special thing that I started doing that not everyone knows about. Ask them that you're interested in really paying off the debt. You know, you want to know if they can give you a little bit of a break on the interest rate. Do they have a better interest rate? So I want to give you guys an example. I owed Nordstrom's credit card. It started with just going to Nordstrom's. Yeah, I'll get points and all this stuff. But it ended up being that I ended up owing Nordstrom's $14,000. I was literally going through a bad separation. My mom had just passed away. I started living off my credit cards, okay? So with Nordstrom's, I was actually paying my electricity bill. I was paying my gas bill. And Nordstrom's called me and they said, we're cutting you off because my debt just went super high. So one thing is that when you're maxing out your credit cards, your debt ratio, which is the amount of debt that you have, it goes very low. So if you owe a lot of people, your credit score will start going down. Even if you're current on every single one of them, but if you owe a lot of credit cards and you're close to maxing out your credit card, the way that the creditors and lenders, especially I'm in the finance world, I've been doing financing for almost 20 years now, they look at it, it's kind of like a BK waiting to happen. So it's harder for them to actually lend you money because they're like, well, are they gonna pay this or are they gonna let everything go, you know, and file bankruptcy or whatever? So call the credit card companies and ask them, could you offer me a lower interest rate? Believe it or not, Nordstrom ended up saying, yeah, we will give you a 9.99 until you pay it off. So believe it or not, that saved me 5 points on interest every single month. So where does the interest go? You have your balance and then you have your interest. If you're setting the minimum amount on each and every single payment, you're gonna kind of realize that your balance never goes down. So I want to give you guys a true life story of what happened to me with Capital One. Capital One gave me a credit card and my limit was $2,000, okay? Capital One, I would pay it and then I would charge it again. I would send a $200 payment and then I'd be like, oh, I have $200 on that credit card. Let me put it on this one. And if that one didn't work, then I would get the next credit card. And I would go, okay, try this one. And that's how bad my debt was, but I was literally living off my credit cards. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because it kind of becomes a vicious cycle. And especially me, I was going through a really bad depression. So when my kids were going in school, I would compulsively go out and shop. And then I would get home and I would still feel so empty. And I'd be like, why did I buy all of this? I don't even need all this stuff. And sometimes I found myself going back to Target, going back to those stores and returning the things that I had just bought like the next day and hoping like, oh my God, I hope it's not the same girl that saw me yesterday. Or going to a different Target and returning it and then going back in and compulsively shopping again with my depression. You want to realize is, why are you charging all your stuff? Like, where is that coming from, you know? So the second tip that I'm going to give you guys, number one is call the creditor. Find out how much you owe, negotiate the interest rate. If you just missed the payment and they charged you a $35 fee, you have 2 times per year on majority of the credit cards for you to ask for them to waive that fee and tell them like, I'm sorry, I forgot to send the payment. You know, is there any way you can waive that late charge fee? And I'm telling you guys, be nice on the phone and they will do it. I've done it several times, okay? But they're like, oh, Miss Figueroa, we've already done one for you this year, so we can't. You can only do it within a period of 6 months. Every credit card company is different. The next tip I'm gonna give you guys is you guys get rid of your credit cards. Take them out of your wallet. The less access that you have to them when you're going out shopping is gonna be the best thing for you. So if you carry like your debit card, you already know that, yeah, I'm $200 at Target. Yeah, I maybe put some of this stuff back, right? But when it's a credit card, it really doesn't matter because you know, like, it's not gonna come out of your checking account right away. So you're like, I'll pay it later. But then when later comes, you're like, oh my God, I'm getting myself into a mess. So if you're serious about wanting to clean up your credit, that's the next thing that you wanna do. So what do you do with the list now that you've called all the creditors, okay? You know what your interest rate is. Now you're gonna start organizing your credit card debt. What do I mean by that? Number one, it's gonna be the most expensive one that you owe all the way down to the cheapest balance, the least balance that you have. So this is what I did. And like I said, I'm not a professional, but I am a single mom that was able to figure it out on her own, and I was able to do this, okay? And now my credit score, where's my phone at? That way I can show you guys, that way you guys, of course, I don't know where my phone's at. Anyways, I don't want to get up right now because, oh, it's on my bed. But anyways, my credit score, I checked last night on creditkarma.com, and it was 761. And no one had wanted to finance me before. So this is a true method that has worked for me. And it was going to work for you. And that's why I'm sharing it, because I want you to have that possibility as well. So my least balance on one of my credit cards was like $461, and it was only that little bit because my credit line was only $500. But so what I started doing is I started sending a minimum payment to the other higher balances, and then I started sending what I would have sent extra to those more expensive credit cards. I was sending it to pay off the smaller balances. So then I was like, oh my God, it feels so good when you pay off a credit card, you guys. It's like such a satisfaction to you. But you got to put that credit card away, because if you carry it in your wallet, you're going to charge it up again, and then it defeats the whole purpose. So I remember getting the bill and putting paid, and I was like, yes. And I remember seeing all the other balances. And I want to let you guys know, just last year, and I want to share with you guys because this is just being my authentic self. January of last year, so this is not even a year ago, okay? I don't know if it's gonna focus. I hope it does, but I apologize. I'm just learning how to use my camera. You guys, I owed that month, and this is not mortgage bills and all that. I owed that year $10,032.46, okay? So I had already paid off a lot of my debt. But I wanted to show you something that's more current. Every single one of these credit cards, Best Buy, Disney credit card, Discover, Costco, Capital One, all have zero balances on it right now. Except for the Costco, because I just bought that final, I don't know, Photoshop for my son to help me start editing videos. But all of them have a zero balance, and this is a system that I use. So the first bill that I paid off was Discovered, because I only owed $442, my correction. I paid that one off. Then the next one I went to Capital One, and then I started sending bigger payments to Capital One. And then at this point, the one that I owed the most on was my Costco credit card. Now, I got the Costco credit card, and that was actually one of my first credit cards besides the Capital One. If you're looking at re-establishing your credit, Capital One has some really good credit cards. Again, I'm not advising you to go get yourself into debt, but another trick that I did is I applied for a Costco credit card. At this time, obviously, I'm working. My income has gone up a little bit. And what I did is they had a 0% balance, right? Like a 0% interest for 1 year, and then you had the opportunity to transfer over balances. So if you have an opportunity or a credit card, ad comes in the mail to where you have an opportunity to transfer over debt on a 0% interest only, you're gonna save so much money. So that's what I actually did. I started transferring my balances to 0%, because all that money I was saving on the interest was now going to the actual payment, the principal part of my credit card, okay? Now, the other tip that I want to give you guys is, how do you get organized to where you don't forget to send your payments? Number one, you can put a reminder on your phone that it gives you like a reminder like 5 days before your payment, and then it, like on the iPhone, you can program it. It tells you how many days you want notification, and every day for the next 5 days, it would give me a notification, hey, Capital One's due tomorrow. If you're able to, and you have to make sure that you're on point, do the automatic withdraw from your checking account. Excuse me. Do the automatic withdraw from your checking account, because this will allow you to set up that payment, okay? And for you to not forget about sending that payment, which will allow you to not worry about like overcharges, okay? The other thing is, get yourself a calendar, like your agenda, or your, like your calendar. This is my calendar for 2017 and 2018. And then what I put on here is my reminders. I actually do like to write in my calendar, because I schedule appointments and stuff like that. So it'll be like, your payments due this date, and that way you don't forget about it, okay? You can put like a cork board in your kitchen or whatnot. The other tip I want to tell you is always have all of your bills in one thing. You can go to the 99-cent store, get a little like Tupperware or whatever, and just put all your bills. Know the fact that when the mail comes, all your bills go in one place. Because if you're like me and you're a busy mom and you're a busy boss babe or whatever it may be, you may grab the mail and then leave it in your car, put it in your purse, take it with you in your gym bag because you're coming back from the gym or whatever it may be, and then you're not very organized with it. It's going to be really hard for you to be like, oh my God, did I send that payment? And then you think you send the payment. You didn't send that payment, but then they charge you that fee, okay? So what are other things that I did to clean up my credit, okay? In reference to the credit card debt, the 0% helped out big time. So I was able to send more payments to the principal, okay, of what my debt was. And then the other thing is that, excuse me, I'm like sick, but the other thing that I did was I took out the credit cards from my wallet. I only carried one credit card, which was my Costco one, my debit card, and my driver's license in my wallet. So anytime we were at Walmart and Best Buy was there, my kids would be like, Mom, please, I want an Xbox card or whatever. I was like, no. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is about cleaning up your debt. If you guys owe people money, I highly recommend you pay them back. Okay, so the reason why I'm telling you that is because it does something to you and for you, knowing the fact that you paid that. So I'm going to share a story which is kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to share it with you anyways. I had some phones with Verizon, and some of you guys are going to be like, oh girl, I already know what you're going to say, because some of you guys already know how Verizon can kind of creep up on you here and there. My cell phone bill that month was $4,000. Yeah, I know. It was actually $3,800 to be exact, but then with all the late charge fees, because I didn't pay it, it went to $4,200, okay? What Verizon claimed was that we were using too much of the internet, and apparently it wasn't connecting to the Wi-Fi in my home. My son was streaming, and I was actually using a lot of the data, like the internet used for social media and all that. So the first thing I said is, I ain't gonna pay it. Hell no. I ain't paying that. How am I going to pay $3,800 when I'm struggling to just make my damn mortgage payment? So I said, I'm not going to pay it. And I was firm that I was not going to pay Verizon. Guess who it affected? It affected me. Because when the appropriate time that the interest rates were low and I had an opportunity to refinance my house, they're like, ma'am, you qualify in every other area, but you have a collection from Verizon for a cell phone and for the internet. Like they were, you know, they had like that bundle deal or whatever. At that time, Verizon transferred over to Frontier, and it was a mess, okay? And my battery's blinking. Dios mío, I need to hurry up. So I didn't pay them, and it's been about 3 years, 2.5 years, I think, 2 or 3 years to be one of those, okay? And it creeped up on me again, right? So I paid them off. I called them and I negotiated with the collection company. I owed them $4,200. I negotiated with them and I settled for $2,400. One thing that I told them was that I wanted to make sure that they were going to report to all credit bureaus that the balance was paid, okay? And it kind of just set me free. Like, oh my God, I feel so good, because I know that I did owe them money. And I know, yes, was I using the access? Yes. Did I check? No. Did I send my payment? No. But I owed the money, so I needed to pay it. So luckily I did pay them, and I'm going to tell you guys it was the best thing that I can do, because today my credit score is back at 761. I want to show you guys, my phone's over there. I'm going to probably input a clip right here to just show you, but I'm really excited, you guys. I've been able to do that. I hope this method worked for you. Sorry the video is so short, or maybe too long for you. I don't know. Don't forget, if you found just even one little thing valuable in this video, just leave a thumbs up, click on the like button. I would love for you to be part of this family. I'm so excited to be able to share so much information with you guys. I want to show you guys how I was able to take my home out of foreclosure, how I was able to survive after 5 having 5 babies is not easy, trying to keep it all together and still put a smile on your face for your kids. But I'm gonna tell you guys that it doesn't matter what you're going through right now. I can only assure you, and if you trust me, a year from today, you will be thinking back like, oh my God, I did it. And that's exactly how I feel today. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I knew that I was going to do it. When you write it down and you set your goals that you're gonna get rid of your debt and you're gonna pay it off, and that you're gonna do things right the next time, it's unbelievable what happens. It's unbelievable how so many doors open up for you. So I just want to let you guys know, with those tips I just shared with you, I just am finalizing my documents on the refinancing of my house. I will insert the picture of like how I wrote everything down for you guys to kind of just see it. It's going to be an example. That way maybe you guys can just kind of copy it and then share it. All right, so my goal was to try and pay off the ones that I had the least balance on. That way I can start focusing on the ones that I owed the most. So I started sending the minimum amount payments to the ones at the top, and then I started focusing on trying to pay off these. Now, how did I accumulate or get additional money to be able to pay these off? Well, I canceled like my Verizon bill with the cable. I cut that. That was $150 extra a month I was able to send to one of these credit card companies. There's a lot of little things that we're paying. Maybe you're paying for apps that you really don't use. Check your bank statements to find out what are you being charged every single month. Find money to be able to pay these off. Okay, well, I'm grateful to share this information with you guys, and like I said, I would love for you guys to be part of the family. I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful for you taking the time, and if you're still listening to me right now, you are the true MVP. So have a great, beautiful, blessed day.